was a code. There's no COVID. That doesn't stand for anything. That doesn't stand for a flu. It's a certificate C of O, vaccination B. ID, identification. 19 is A. 1 is A. I is 9. That's a code. Very primitive code, not even a good code. So whatever they were dispensing was a technology to go into the blood. And when they start to release these frequencies, those things become activated. And the people become violent, the people become aggressive, people become crazy. And these are the realities. And the people whom were safe were people whom closed their eyes. It was a code.
And giving all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rachakwadash. Double honors to the elders, apostles, and bishops of Great Millstone, as well as the men that taught them, and peace and blessings unto the 144,000, as well as the rest of the elect. This is Brother Taza Pie, here with your daily lunch special. And today, we're going to be serving up the hantavirus, all right? It's the buzz right now to talk around town. And many people are drawing parallels between this, all right, looking exactly like the coronavirus and the shutdown and all of the things that came with it, from this cruise ship that posted up with sick people on it. You know, it's a replay. All right, we live in a live replay. How far they gonna go with it, I have no idea, but a shutdown would fit the bill, all right, of what they need. And I'll get into that in a little bit, all right. I'll go here before we get into the next. And this is Nahum 3 and 4, all right. It says, because of the multitude of the whoredoms of the well-favored harlot, the mistress of witchcrafts, that selleth nations through her whoredoms, and families through her witchcrafts, all right? Let me look at that word, selleth. All right, because this is talking about ancient Nineveh. Now today, America, which is spiritually Babylon, prophetically known as Babylon, modern day Babylon, it fits into that prophecy that pertained to Nineveh. Now you can apply it to America because of the same, America doing the same things and is in that same spirit of ancient Nineveh. There's nothing new under the sun. All right. So here for sell it in the Hebrew is makar. All right, makar, and this says outline of biblical usage. It is a primitive root. And the outline of biblical usage is to sell, all right? To sell, a seller, to be sold, all right? To sell oneself, it says to be given over to death. And that's really what it's saying. Look at the verse. Let me go back. All right, that selleth nations through her whoredoms, all right? They give it nations over to death through her whoredoms. That's what whoredoms, that's why they're called whoredoms. All right? If it led you to life, it wouldn't be a whoredom. All right? But right, these things, these whoredoms lead, it says, sell it nations through her whoredoms. So they lead nations to their death. They sell nations, you know, over to death. Through her whoredoms, and families through her witchcraft. That's exactly what America does. All right, globally. Okay, now we're talking about the pestilence, right? Of the hanta, all right, which is more sorcery. It's witchcraft. All right, well, I can't say that about the virus, but if they bring you a cure, Just like they offered, the juice for the coronavirus, they offered that vaccine as an answer, but it really was sorcery. All right. And many nations and families were sold, all right, given over to death by way of that sorcery. All right, just some of the things that was in it: graphene oxide, all right, luciferase, which is to illuminate certain cells within your body, all right, so that they can read and see from a distance by the illumination of this luciferase, which would go along. It would basically illuminate your veins, your arteries, and people could see, if you've been vaccinated with special lights or whatever, you know. But that sorcery, luciferase, tales of snake venom, cobra, if I remember correctly, cobra venom. So this is sorcery. And they presented it as medicine, all right, as a cure for the virus. Now, the whole point to this is, all right, that was sorcery, and that was, as Isaiah stated, grievousness that was prescribed. This is Isaiah 10:1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that write grievousness which they have prescribed. And that juice was a grievousness that they had prescribed. All right? A form of sorcery. What was the purpose of it? Right, the purpose of it was to restructure your blood cells, your blood, I guess certain organs, so that it would accept this mark of the beast that's getting ready to come, prophesied in Revelation 13. All right? As is, your body will reject foreign objects, even when they do these they've been doing for decades now, these organ transplants. Those people have to go on heavy medication for the rest of their life because their body wants to reject, because it know it doesn't belong there, whatever organ that they had transplanted. All right? A heart, a liver, a kidney, whatever. The body registers it and recognizes it as an invader, and it attacks it. All right? So how much more so if you put an inorganic object into your body? Yeah, you're going to have an adverse reaction. It's going to trigger an autoimmune response. All right? So to get ahead of that, they say, well, we can, get around that, and we give the people, we give them these injections, and then somebody say, well, they ain't going to just willingly accept these injections. Well, we'll scare them. All right? And they put this in The Simpsons with the cat flu. They said, we'll scare them, and then they'll beg us for, a cure. And it'll come in the form of, this injection that they dubbed a vaccine, but an injection nonetheless, to begin your journey to transhumanism. All right. So this could be the next step. This hantavirus. All right. And we just have to wait and see because of the polycrisis. All right. Which was brought out by Elder Yashawamba and back by Apostle Tahar. All right. So back in Nahum 3, picking up at verse 5, behold, I am against thee, said the Lord of hosts. All right. So he was against Nineveh then, and Nineveh got judged. All right. Now this goes for America. All right. And the Lord is against America. All right. So you can't say it's off. All right. Because it does mention Nineveh when we read down in verse 7. But, all right, spiritually, this applies to America today. Behold, I am against thee, said Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Lord of hosts, and I will discover thy skirts upon thy face. And this is what's happening in America. Epstein files released. All right. No one indicted or, brought up on any charges. None of that. But it does show the corruption that's going on, stemming from America, but, flourishing abroad all throughout the world. All right. If you could say that wickedness flourishes, which, you could say that, but flourish, you think of life and living and growing, and that's the opposite of evil. Evil corrupts, withers, and then destroys. All right. So that's America. I was looking at a short, and they got all these Hollywood stars, just like Ariana Grande. She did this latest Wizard of Oz shit. That was a piece of shit, and I didn't even know who she was. And a lot of these Hollywood stars and whatever, they're unrecognizable. All right. That's the curse of wickedness. That's the curse of wickedness. Like in the Apocrypha it said, the wickedness of a woman changes her countenance. Yeah. Right. Behold, I am against thee, said the Lord of hosts, and I will discover thy skirts upon thy face. Meaning the Lord is going to expose America. All right. Just like Nineveh was exposed. All right. That's the lifting of the skirts, exposing the privates. All right. The secret parts. What are the secret parts of America? All right. Everything they discuss in these private councils, these closed door meetings, what's that? Bohemian Grove, Council of Foreign Affairs, even the WHO, and all of this dealing with these outbreaks, right? The WHO, the National Institute of Health, and the things that they discuss in secret, and their evil, vindictive plans, all right, the Heavenly Father is exposing them through whistleblowers and through leaked documents and stuff. Like right now, they're allegedly releasing the so-called UFO files. For what? The prophets done told you what it is. Now, what is the devil? What disclosure can the devil give you? It's not his lot for disclosure, all right? Although, right, it did say that their tongue would fall upon themselves, all right? I might get that, later, but, that tongue, they would tell certain things, right, but it would be like in whistleblower form, not the government releasing these files, with them doing that, and even, all the brothers is feeling the same, that they're doing it to deceive, as a perfect order of a devil. He's not going to release it for disclosure. He's releasing it for deception. All right? Just like they're going to deceive with this this new outbreak, or they trying to make it an outbreak, or whatever they plan on doing with it. All right, this is all sorcery and deceit. So the Most High said, "And I will discover thy skirts upon thy face, and I will show the nations thy nakedness." And ain't that what Iran is doing? Exposing America. Right now, this Trump administration is looking real weak. Oh, but he go around pounding his chest and huffing and puffing, and Iran wants to make a deal. Iran, they really want to make a deal, and all of this. But the true story is, Iran don't want to make no deal. They gave the U.S. a deal, and that's it. They're not negotiating nothing else but the plan that they put forward. They're not accepting anything from the West. Nothing. They made that clear. All right? They said, we're not even discussing nuclear weapons. So that means it's a war going on. And that brings me back to, I can see a shutdown coming because they looking to put boots on the ground. All right? Now, that ain't the sole purpose they need a shutdown, but you have to look at it like this, right? The Strait, it ain't closed. People say, oh, they closed the Strait, and no, they put a price on it. It was closed at one point, but they said, no, y'all can come on through for $2 million. Y'all come on, get your oil, and pay for your oil, but it's going to cost you, on top of that, $2 million just to come through here. All right? And the countries that's cool with Iran ain't come through. They just come through like your boys, man. Y'all come on through. Y'all good. We good. But, the West, y'all want this oil, it's gonna start off at $2 million. That's just to come in. All right? And so, the economies across the world are stressed. Right? Perfect way to hide, even America, perfect way to hide that is a shutdown. Because now you ain't got to drive, you ain't got to pay, worry about the gas prices, and you can do your shopping online, just like in the, now Amazon has shipping now, so they got that sold up like they was, like they knew a shutdown was coming. So they said, yeah, this time we're gonna get this shipping too. So they getting ready to make, which I feel like it could come. It could happen, another shutdown. Amazon is in prime position to win. All right? So now the trucks, you ain't got to worry too much, with the trucks getting to the stores. Everything is at the warehouse, and it is, shipped as ordered. You ain't got to drive nowhere, you non-essential workers. And I don't know, they'll probably give you a UBI that'll cross over into a microchip. And again, I don't know how they would do it, but that would alleviate a little of the stress of the economy with this oil situation. All right, because, I done seen gas prices in the West, approaching $7 per gallon. That's for the average, U.S. wage. Shit, you got to be making $100,000. You got to be making six figures to just be able to just roll like that. Especially with these bullshit cars that they give you. All right, we supposed to be getting on average, 40 miles to the gallon. 50 should be standard for four 6-cylinder cars. 50 miles a gallon should be standard. They give you this shit that's barely at 20 miles, well, in the bigger cars, but they barely give you 30 miles to the gallon. None of these companies want to pay you shit. And here these motherfuckers is starting wars. You don't have nothing at home, man. That's what the scripture was saying. You sit down and you count the cost. You don't have shit for a war. You don't have manufacturing, so you can't build tanks. And I mean, they could build it partially, but they can't fully build it. Because then when it get down to the electrical system, they're not making chips. The chips in Taiwan, which China is getting ready to take. So there's a lot of shit going on. All right, which would totally work out for America to sit the fuck down for a little bit in a shutdown. You know, right, for a war, you need strong manufacturing for rifles, for ammo, tanks, trucks, the tracks for the tanks. You know, all the parts that go, you know, the transmissions, the motors. You got to have strong manufacturing. We have none of that. And then you need a fuel source. We don't have that. They went to Venezuela, all right? But as I stated, that oil needs to be heavily refined before it can be used. You know? So and in war you don't have time for refining. That's for peace times when things are good. Because the first thing I'd hit is your refineries and your manufacturing. You know, but my point here is that, right, just this war with Iran is lifting the skirts on America. The whole world is saying America is a paper tiger right now. All right, well, that's the Lord lifting the skirts here. All right, it says, right. And I will discover thy skirts upon thy face, verse 5. And I will show the nations thy nakedness. Everybody looking at America, shaking their head from side to side, saying like, you know, I can't believe what I'm seeing. It says, and the kingdom's thy shame, and I will cast abominable filth upon thee, and make thee vile, and will set thee as a gazing stock. You see? And that's what the Most High done. And this is Habakkuk 2:15. It says, woe unto him that giveth his neighbor drink, and putteth thy bottle to him. You know? And this is symbolic of, you know, America enforcing its policies on these other countries, on us here domestically, that, you know, it's unfair and unjust. Putting sanction on these countries for just because they don't like something. You know, sanctioning Russia, creating enemies, sanctioning Iran, sanctioning China. You know, putting your bottle to them, trying to push the LGBTQ globally, trying to make people drunk. You know, woe to him that giveth his neighbor drink. And it tell you that. You can read about it, Jeremiah 51. Babylon had been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that had made all the earth drunken by way of its policies, its ideologies, its foreign policy. All right? It says that puttest thy bottle to him and makest him drunken also, that thou mayest look on their nakedness. You see, now the Lord has reversed it. All right, that thou mayest look on their nakedness. That's what they did to us, the children of Israel, us so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right, they made us destitute, and then had the whole world look at us, and still to this day look down on us as less than, as fifth-rate citizens. It said in verse 16, thou art filled with shame for glory. So whatever was once glory, what they could once dictate on a battle, yeah, they could dictate, but, dominate. Damn it, pretty much any battlefield scenario, now they getting clowned. Cause good times make weak men, all right? And America been sold this, oh, we won and we're the best country and all this shit been shoved down people's throats that they regurgitate that shit. We got the best military. This the best country on earth. You don't like it here, well, go somewhere else. No, I don't like it here. And there's nowhere else for a black man, so-called, to go. All right? Fuck you. And fuck America. Tell me what the fuck to do. Or anybody else that got a problem with America. All right, this is the worst country on the face of the earth, and the Most High is exposing it. Thou art filled with shame for glory. All right. Now they look totally incompetent. It says, and then on the battlefield, in the Oval Office, in Congress, in the Senate, your governor, your mayors, oh, this whole shit is like amateur night. All right? And it ain't even Apollo. This is just some real cut rate amateur night shit coming out of America. Half-ass, I don't give a damn. That's what it looks like. And everybody's on the take and corrupt and stealing. This place is being robbed blind. All right. As a nation, America is reaching 40 trillion, all right, in debt. Not counting unfunded liabilities. All right. This is a total nightmare scenario. See, it's right. Thou art filled with shame for glory. Drink thou also. Yeah, it's your turn to drink, mother. Drink thou, get you some of this cup, and then the Most High gonna fill it up for you and force it down your throat. All right? Yeah. Where I left off at? Oh, yeah. Thou art filled, verse 16. Thou art filled with shame for glory. Drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. The cup of the Lord's right hand shall be turned unto thee. The cup of the Lord's right hand. That is Yahawashi, Hamashiach. Now, that's a cup you don't want to drink. Yeah, you don't want that. You on the left, you don't want that cup. All right? The cup of the Lord's right hand is a cup full of judgment and the Most High's furious indignation. All right? It says, shall be turned unto thee, and shameful spewing shall be on thy glory. Right, when you throwing up all over the place, you done had too much to drink. And now, as Jake say, you earling all over the place. That's Esau. That's what he's doing. He's earling over the world, all over the world, just vomiting. Over there in the Middle East, vomiting. Over in Ukraine, vomiting. South and Central America, vomiting. He's just earling all over the place. All right? That's what the Lord was saying back in Nahum 3:6. And I will cast abominable filth upon thee and make thee vile, and will set thee as a gazing stock. Right. A mockery. And so, right, you see here in verse 7 is mentioning Nineveh. But that's who it was talking about. And now it applies to America. Verse 7, and it shall come to pass that all they that look upon thee shall flee from thee, and say, Nineveh is laid waste. That's going to be America. America is getting ready to be laid waste. Mark my words. Don't mock them. Mark my words. All right. It says, Nineveh is laid waste. Who will bemoan her? Right. Who's going to bemoan America? Well, tell you the merchants gonna bemoan. They're gonna bewail her. I think it said bewail in Revelation 18. You know, who will bemoan her? Whence shall I seek comforters for thee? All right. And this is the future of America. Total destruction. Right now, it's total confusion and derision going on in this place. All right. But a shutdown would, like I said, that would really foot the bill, and it would be perfect for the elite. And they could finish putting everything in place. And then after the shutdown, we in MOTB town. But we'll see. All right. So to the next one, y'all stay up, stay tuned, and shalom.